making a connection. So here's really a great, easy way to do it yourself. It's a foolproof method. These are the numbers. In high school, California has 49,264. Texas has 37,462. In New York, 23,000 plus. These are all kids registered playing high school soccer. That's a lot of kids, right? Just Texas alone, that's a lot of kids. So you need to separate yourself from the herd. You need to be unique in your story. So the challenge, to make a college connection. It all comes back to telling your story. Every person in this room has something unique you bring to this game. Your passion, your heart, your drive, your determination. That girl's got a good shirt on. Be strong if you're weak, right? Things like this, you've got to carry yourself like you're in charge of you. That helps you tell your story. This is really part of the process. You just need to create a personal plan. You want to get to your answers quickly. You don't want somebody to give you the runaround, right? You just need to know some rules. So this is you. You can't see, but there's just one shoe up here. It's a whole crowd. So you need to size up your strengths. I ask all of the students to create a diary. Start now. Think about what you do. Colleges, let me back this up. You do know soccer is a non-revenue sport, correct? It's funded by football, basketball, right? It's just how it works. We love soccer, but it's not, non-revenue sport. But start right now and create a diary. Think about your academic strengths, what you do in your community, your volunteer service, and then your athletics. When it comes to looking at a prospect or a player from a college coach's eyes, there's only 4 things they look at, and it doesn't take the whole game to figure it out. They're going to look at your technical, your tactical, your physical, and your psychological. That's all. They get personality. Being affable, everybody wants to be around happy people. But that's what they're going to look for. And with the way they size it up is, let's say, it's this young lady, and I'm a coach. I've got a college team, and I'm looking at you. I don't care about your whole team, but you have got my attention. How will you fit in my team? Can you add value? Will you make a difference? Right? It's for every young lady in this room. So it's about being realistic with your abilities and getting the right fit. But more importantly, it's not just about soccer. It's about graduating with a meaningful degree. At the end of the day, old age, injury, and retirement, those are inevitable. But your education, no one can take that from you. That lasts a lifetime. And if you are recruited on a college roster and you get injured and they tell you you're not going to play anymore, they want to know at the college you still want to be there. Right? You don't choose the college because your best friend went there or your boyfriend went there. You choose it because that's the best education for you. Because if it is your boyfriend you're following, oh, trust me, bad move right there. You'll meet a lot of nice guys. Go have hamburgers with who you want. You don't need somebody nagging you on a phone saying, who are you talking to, right? Get rid of it. Senior year, get rid of it. And if they love you, they'll be here with you, right? Fact. So, think about what makes you unique in this process. Here's something to get you started. Notice my roadmap when I try to get Dallas in the circle. You're here. This is a huge place. What I want you to do is think about where you want to be. Pick 8 states. There's a lot to choose from, right? But just pick 8. Think about geography, distance from home. How many of you want to go away? If your mom and dad are in the room, make a note. And look, I want to go away. Trust me, you want to go away. But think about the opportunity to create your 8 states. And you need to do this now, okay? Kids that say, oh, I want to go to New York. Okay, well, wait till a blizzard comes. That's when I want you to visit. It's the worst time of the year for that school. Go visit them. Because you might say, oh, I don't want to be there anymore. For the moms and dads, you need to tell your kid to suck it up lately. Finish the year, don't be a quitter. So pick your 8 states and be realistic. There are some towns that have people with more toes than teeth. There are some with more cows than people. But just know where you are. Do you want a large campus or a small campus? Large campus doesn't mean it's Division I. It just has a whole lot of people, right? Make sure when you're choosing these states, when you think about your division of play, like how many of you school has strengths. But again, at the end of the day, it's about your academics, that you're adding value to that team, right? Because if you get your A-type personalities right off the bat, let's say you're recruited, let's say it's this girl right here, and I'm the coach, and I said, well, I'm on red shirt, you for your first year, you're going to be all right with that. It can happen. So just be mindful of where you get in is where you're going to fit in, right? But again, geography, very important. Distance from home. Want to go away? Take off. I need your parents are excited to get the room back. When it comes to the division of play, be realistic. You know, how many of you think you want to go play for Anson Lawrence in North Carolina? Good for you. That's the most realistic. You will get, everybody says, I want to play for a top D1 school. I had a dad just, Miss Fallon's on this the other day. I said, okay. So, that being said, you have to take what you're going to get with it. You need to do homework. Look at these rosters. Look where these kids are coming from. Size yourself up. If everybody on that roster is 5'10" and you're 5'4", you need to have God-given speed. Just tell them, I see you got 5'10", I'm 5'4", but let me tell you about my speed. Find something that tells them why you're not pigeonholed. But if you look at a college roster, you'll see exactly what the coach is looking for. That's the players he's recruiting, or she is recruiting. That being said, there's 5,800 universities out here in the U.S. and Canada. When it comes to getting in the door, as I said, it's a non-rep sport. This is how admissions is going to look at you. A college coach can make a recommendation, but the only person that's going to get you in that school is what you did academically. Taking bare minimums isn't the ticket. It's just not going to work that way. Every year, $100 million roughly in scholarship and aid is left on the table because people keep thinking, I'm going to get an athletic ride. It doesn't work that way. The average athletic scholarship is worth about $3,500. So, but if you can get fully paid for a presidential scholarship, remove the barrier to entry and say to the coach, you want me to play for you, yes or no? That's the question. Your parents will appreciate where that money's coming from. A dollar's a dollar. But this is what they're going to look at. Prep courses that you've had, I had one of my students this year, he had 21 college credits graduating high school, even as a sophomore in college. Strength of the curriculum, your test scores. Some colleges are going to start doing away with test scores. They just want to know, tell you as a student, by your curriculum, your prep courses you took for curriculum up here, but then they're going to look at your grades and your overall, and then your writing skills. When it comes to the NCAA, what you need to know, if your goal was ever to play Division I or II, you need to register with the NCAA Eligibility Center. It's ncaa.org. You need to do this by the start of your junior year. For Division I and II, there are 16 core courses that must be taken at a certain period of time. I'll show you these courses too. As parents, I would encourage you, since have y'all started school back then? We'll bang up on the guidance counselor quick and fast. Don't send your child in there. But make an appointment with your child's high school guidance counselor and say, look, my daughter has a desire to go play college ball. Okay. She wants to play soccer, and so I need to make sure she is on track with academic requirements. Most counselors, the national average right now is 491 to 1. You're one kid, they got 400, or one counselor 400 kids, they don't know. So the role and the onus is that's a parent's role. You do that. Don't send your kid in there. You go, tell them, here's my child's goal. I need to make sure she is on track. So, here's the opportunities for you I was saying earlier. There's 2,600 men's and women's opportunities for you. When it comes to women's soccer, there's over 1,400 out of 5,800 universities that offer women's soccer. And they range from Division I, II, III, NAI, USCAA, NCCAA, and the National Junior College. Here's what that looks like. Division I and II, very specific with their eligibility requirements. You got to meet it, you got to register, you got to get in the door. There's no way around it. They clear everybody from, archery to water polo and soccer. Just happens to be one of the sports they clear for. They clear all 23. You have Division I, II, III. 1 and 2 offers academic and athletic A. However you want to cut it, they'll give it to you. Division III is academic only. Some people will say, well, I don't know can then choose from the USCAA, four-year institutions. They're small. They don't offer football, and they don't usually have a lot of basketball, but they're small. They recruit. I've had kids that have played professional that they've recruited, so for young ladies. More so on the men's side, signed a pro contract. The NCAA is not going to take you, but they will. They've got their own rules, they're their own governing body, and they do and spend as much money as they want to. You can then choose from the NCCAA. These are the National Christian Colleges. Got their own money. They're four-year schools. They look at each person, and here's what they're looking for. Christians. I don't care if you're Jewish, Catholic, or whatever. If you're willing to help them build a mud hut and help another family out, and they're going to give you money, say amen, go to church, it's fine. They're four-year schools. Trust me, I've had families that tell me I'm Christian, and then when I made an offer, they're like, oh, we don't want to do that. Okay, well, that's cool. But these are the Christian colleges. An example would be Colorado Christian. Really good school. It's in Colorado. You get four seasonal championships. You can do a snow skiing as well. Then you have the National Junior Colleges. This is the division. These are two-year schools. You have Division I. They offer academic and athletic aid, and then you have Division III. They're academic only. Some kids will say, well, I might be better than that. Well, I don't really know about that. We've had a lot of kids that started at the NJCAA level because they didn't have the academics under control. And they're really good players. But you have 4 years of eligibility, however you get it done, right? Some may start here, get core course credits, and then transfer and move up. Just know where you're going to that your credits will transfer. Junior colleges are extremely overwhelmed with kids enrolling because it's very affordable, right? But what you don't want to get stuck in that rut with is saying, them telling you, let's say you had Algebra 2. Well, you have to take remedial math because the other courses are taken. That's just a waste of money, okay? Remedial courses do not transfer. They don't account for anything, so make sure you're on track if you're going to do it. But with this, I would say go see games right now at all levels of play. Go see UTD, go see Richland, University of Dallas, go see SMU. They're here in your backyard. Whether you want to go to that school or not, it doesn't matter. What I want you to do is see the speed of play and understand that they're very specific. Get there early. Go watch how the coach warms the kids up. Watch how that coach communicates. Look at your specific position. The things I want you to be mindful of is if the coach is talking to the players in a derogatory manner that you don't want to be talked to, don't go there because they're not going to change. They will never change. Who they are is who they are, and you deserve respect. But don't ever let anyone speak to you in a manner, for the parents, that you would never speak to your child in. And for the young ladies in the room, don't you dare tolerate that from anybody, right? Be aggressive. Anyway, but these are the opportunities for athletics in college that I want you to think about. So when you're thinking about this and you're going to tournaments and events, right, you'll want to do some homework. Every college has a website. Most people just go top mind awareness. It's the schools I've heard of. But just go look at websites. Size yourself up again to the players that are there. Look at who they're playing against. Because if you said, for example, well, SMU might be over my head. Well, don't look to go play for any of the teams they compete against because that'll be over your head too. Be realistic with where you fit, but do some homework. Check them out, check their websites out, look at the curriculum, look at the admissions on the university's website, and just know where you are. I said this before, grades mean money. At a 3.5 GPA and an 1800 on your SAT, you can get a presidential scholarship. And by law, every college has to disclose their scholarships. They just don't have to put it on the front page. Some of them I find obscurely behind staff pages. But at least they followed the law. So know what it is. And when it comes to money, as you're getting a little older, for the parents in the room, he who's the best negotiator, that's the one who needs to go in on it. Say, I want my kid's dream to be a reality. I don't want to go into bankruptcy over this, right? Student loan debt is $1.2 trillion. That's larger than credit card debt. But if you have the grades and you negotiate it, you can get this done without it costing you a nickel. People want you. They want you to be the smart kid that's adding value and talking about the school. They'll give you money for this. You just want to be the one to negotiate that, so get that done. When I said about NCAA Division I or II, where you need to register, you need to do it at the start of the junior year. You can do it beforehand, you just need to maintain your information. They're going to charge you $75, and here's what they want to know. Have any of you ever gone to more than one high school right now? Raise your hand. If for any reason you change your high school, you need to collect every high school transcript from any school you've ever attended. They need to be official, meaning the parents has looked at it. Let's say you're the guidance counselor. I'm the student. This is my mom. We go in and she says, I want to make sure my daughter has the correct grades every class I've taken. If I scored a 98, they put it as an 89. She wants my stuff right. Every parent does. When you say, I agree with everything on here, they're going to fold it, put it in an envelope, and seal it for your protection. All right? Don't open it. The school can either send it to the NCA for you, and if they don't, that's your problem, or you can do it yourself. I'm a firm believer of do it yourself. At least you're in charge of your child's destiny, right? But this transcript is sent to them. You need to make sure they have this every time. And at the conclusion of grade 12, you get 3. Right? You can have unofficials all day long, but get 3 officials, and it has to show up to and including grade 12. And here's why you want this. In case their website and their servers go down, you're not in trouble. Protect yourself. Give one to the admissions department, give one to financial aid, and give one to the coach. Now everybody's in the know, right? It's just protecting you, right? So you'll want to register and log in. I've helped a lot of my students walk through this process. They're going to ask you questions regarding amateurism, like we were talking about Hannah, the man who says to this player young man in the airport, you know, for a few $1,000s I can help you. One question that's in that amateur thing is, did you pay someone to market, promote, arrange for you, negotiate for you? And if you answered yes, your information is kicked back. And tell me a little bit more about that, because you can lose your amateur status. It's considered hiring an agent, and it's a fine line. It's a very fine line. The others it says, does anyone pay you to play? I had a lady from a from a club here in town. She said, well, at a professional organization, my daughter's club is affiliated with a pro team. I said, that doesn't count. You're not playing for the pro team. So, that being said, just be mindful. Read them. For the most part, they're logical questions that are asked, but some of it will seem a little odd because they'll ask it the same question 3 different ways to make sure you're being consistent with your answers. The other one in this that's going to have you, if you wanted to play for them, is going to be the NAI, and I'll show you that. But for Division 1 and 2, these are the core courses. I know it's kind of hard to see. One thing's for sure, you can go to the NCAA website, and they'll tell you. Don't type in clearinghouse, it goes to a recruiting service. It's called the ncaa.org. Just use Eligibility Center. I work with them. They use a lot of excerpts from my workbooks, and I'm appreciative of that. But here's the core courses that are required. And when it comes time for eligibility, unfortunately, they use a PDF worksheet for you to calculate every core course you took. And I have a calculator, y'all are welcome to use it. It's on mine, and it will tell you what you're missing or what you need. But these aren't, I'm sorry you can't see it a little clearer, but they're very specific, and it's in a time frame to which you need to have them done. 10 of those need to be completed by the end of the junior year. You cannot have repetitive. If you fail the course once, repeat it again. They don't count that, right? So be very mindful of that. And again, that's why I said, when it comes to college recruiting, you are first and foremost a student, and then you're an athlete. You have to meet eligibility. If you don't meet eligibility, they can't play you, they can't recruit you, and they're not going to. The Division 3, they're self-governed. NAI, they have their own set of rules for recruiting, right? These are just governing bodies you follow, and you have to follow their rules. These are their rules. Anyway, amateurism, as I said it before, for parents and players, when you register with the Eligibility Center, here's some of the things they're going to ask you. Things you definitely shouldn't do. Don't sign a contract with a professional team. Don't play with a professional team. Participating in tryout practices with professional teams. Don't do these. Payments. Don't do this. You know, prize money above your expenses. Don't do this. Accepting benefits from an agent or a prospective agent. It's the people, again, I said it sounds kind of sexy. They're out on the fields going, I'm a scout. Really? Colleges don't have scouts. They are their own scout. Okay? They don't hire a third person to go out and find somebody for them. college coach will tell you, I don't hire scouts. You can ask anybody. These are just the truth. Anyway, agree to be represented by an agent or this scout. Anyway, delaying your full-time college enrollment just to continue playing youth, hoping you're going to get a better deal. These are their rules. They're very specific, and these are the key ones to know. If you want to play NAI, they charge $75 as well. They have their own set of rules that you go by to be eligible and to be recruited, right? Their eligibility standards is a little bit different. They say, again, you need to have to be eligible at least a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale, meet minimum test requirements, meaning an 18 on an ACT or an 820 on an SAT, and they don't count the reading and math, and or be in the top 50% of your high school graduating class. Whichever of those 2 or 3 you can make, you did it. You're in, you're eligible, right? And then it's letting the schools know, again, the transcripts are required, they want this, they're going to verify this, and again, they have money. They have a lot of money to give. In fact, they have 12 scholarships fully funded straight across the board. If it's Division I women's for NCAA, if it were fully funded, it has 14, right? If it's Division II for women, it has 9.9. And this is where I want you to be mindful with the scholarships. These rosters can carry anywhere from 23 to 32 players. You're just one of them. So when someone says, oh, my kid's going to get a full ride, right, okay, you need to be really, really good if you are, because they just don't have the money to give out. And so that you know, scholarships are renewable annually. You don't do your job, they shouldn't give you any more money. You don't maintain eligibility, you should not get any money. In fact, the school loses money. If I recruit Mizzou right here, smart girl, and she's away from home, she's loving life, having tons of fun with lots of friends, and out of sight, out of mind. And let's say my girl that had the biggest grades coming in the door is starting to have a good social experience. And, oh, those grades fall off. 2 things to be mindful of. If you don't maintain eligibility, any money I gave you, I can't play you, and I'm penalized the equal amount of money. So if I gave you 20, you just cost me 40. Now, as a coach, I'm not going to be happy at all. With that being said, for the families in the room, when your child goes off to college, there's a document for the application. It's called the FERPA, Federal Right Privacy Protection Act. I don't care if you're paying $1 or $100,000 for your kid's education. If your name is not on that, they will never discuss your child's grades and or deviant behavior if they should ever have that. So make sure your name is so that they will share with you. But they consider these students coming into college and adults. So heads up on that. Not to blow it up for the kids, but this is how it's going to happen. But go to the NAI.org and make yourself familiar, right? All of them want to help you. But these are the things that I want you to know. Again, remember, don't get stuck on the bench. I wish you could see this a little bit clearer. But the NCAA and their eligibility is called a 2.3 or taking D. If you don't maintain at least a 2.3 as part of your eligibility coming in the door, you won't be able to play. You will ride the pine until you become eligible, right? So if you have a 2.20, ride the pine. Get the grade up. You need to have a minimum GPA of 2.3 and composite of your SAT or ACT that equals that. That's just, and again, you know why they do this? Raise your hand. Not all American football players are the sharpest tools in the shed, let's just be real. And I'm not throwing them under the bus, I'm just saying, hey, it just is, soccer players tend to have higher GPAs, have taken more rigorous courses. We're A-type personality people, right? So, but some kids are so caught up in it, just, you know, whether it's social or their boyfriend or whatever. Your grades, focus on this. And again, you've got to register and make sure you're ready and ready to get into the game. So, I always say, size up your streaks. There's my friend Mike Powell. But again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So when you size it up, here's what I want you to think about. Remember when I said coaches are going to look at your technical, your tactical, your physical, and your psychological? They all relate to your specific position. So, you're a goalkeeper. Who's the goalkeepers in here? Right on. Are you loud? Would your team say that you're loud? Are you loud too? You better be. And here's the thing for girls, for any of the goalkeepers in the room, are you all, every girl, I don't care even if you're my age. As a woman, I want people to like me. They don't have to. He's the coach, you're the second coach. He can't go like basketball, timeout. You see everything. Your team needs to follow your lead and be loud about it. Be communicative. Because when coaches come out and they're looking at goalkeepers, if it's a quiet little, hey, move to the right, you're no good, baby, because you got to think in how the youth level is. There's a lot of parents out there screaming and yelling. It's just crazy. College has a lot of fans too, you know, so you got to be able to come above that sound barrier to make sure your team hears you and that they're respecting you. Because when you get into college, some of these girls are going to be 21, 22, you might be 18. Be the commander, be the leader. Get in there and put a foot in somebody's behind, man, make it happen. For our defenders, nothing should ever get past you. They want to know, can you defend and can you attack? Get with it. Same for the midfielders. Who's the midfielders? You're the engine of the team. They want to know, do you have passing accuracy? At the speed of play, can you? Can you put it on her foot? That's what they want to know. Practice your skill set. When you write down what your strengths are, practice your skill set. That's what it comes down to. Those defining moments of who wants it more, you or me, or anyone. And I know I'm an aggressive woman, so my girl Lisa, she's way aggressive. She's out there with it all the time. But my voice too as a player, it's the defining moment, which separates you from everybody else, right? And you need to own it. And when you're the forward, who are my forwards? Girl, you know everybody loves to hate the forwards, right? Oh, you should have scored, right? Or the goalkeeper, that's the other person they love to hate too. Oh, you should have saved it. Hey, there's a whole group of kids out here together playing. So when it comes to being a forward, you are also that. You don't finish it, you lose that ball, you need to get that ball and start bringing it back, right? It's a team collective effort. But find out when you look at these, and I'll send Michael a note that has these defined in here. I want you to be able to write your strengths down. So if I'm a college coach and I say to this lovely girl with Arkansas up front, tell me why I would recruit you. Don't start with I love soccer. And do you know why? Well, we're all in soccer, so that's a given, right? And nobody wants to know, I've been playing since I was 6 years old. Nobody cares. They want to know, starting in grade 9 through 12, what have you done? What are you doing to make yourself better as an athlete? What are you doing to add value to your team? And how will you do it for my team? And I'll make sure Mike has this so that you can create your own story. What are your strengths in your technical, your tactical, your physical, and psychological, right? That's what we're looking for. Everybody can help you improve speed, but sometimes God gives you certain gifts of speed that's just, or how about the kid that shows up at the right place at the right time every time? And people are like, man, how'd they know? They read the game. No, read the game. If you can read the game, you're doing great. Like, how many of you girls are really good in math? Raise your hand. You'll be one of those that totally understands the spatial side of the game. It's a gift. You're going to have it. You have it, use it to your ability. Don't shrink down on my friend, I'm going to hand it to her so she looks good. Focus on you. Use your math skills in this. But these are the basics of what you need to know and how you need to sell your story. Every one of you should have a player profile. How many of you have a player resume? And do you have it as a paper version or did you post this someplace online? Okay. Nobody cares about it being online. How can they recruit you if they're having to search you down? And I know, baby, look, everybody's selling this, Captain You and the rest of them. Here, publish online, they'll find you. No, they're not. So I'm going to give to Michael a resume. It'll have the Andromeda logo on it. It's a Word document. It's a cut, copy, paste, right? It needs to be consistent. How many of you have a cell phone? Raise your hand. How many of you have your voicemail set up on that cell phone? Okay. For those who don't, do you know what happens when a coach calls? This voicemail has not been set up. Thank you. And they hang up. You need to set a voicemail up. That's, if you want to get recruited and get noticed, take some responsibility. Setting up your voicemails fairly. Come here, I'll help you with it. My name is, thank you for calling. Just as simple as that, right? How many of you have an email address, your own personal? And do you have it just your name, or do you have it like Hot Soccer Girl 101 or something like that? Some kids do. Okay. just like getting a job. How many of you have a summer job? Have you ever had a job? You got to referee. I know you do. Anybody else in here have a job? The parents have you do in the back, right on, girl. Well, I always had summer jobs. Listen, I was shoveling horse in New York. But I had gas money for my boat, trust me. If you've never had a job and your parents work, ask them about this. You know, you apply for a job, you need to be talented, you need to be qualified, and you need to apply. That's what this is really all about. That's the resume, huh? It's going to speak about your academic, a college and career objective. They know you want to play soccer, right? So what is it do you want to study? You know, they want to know, I know I've got soccer, but if my school doesn't offer neurosciences, it's not a good fit. You should not be going there, my little girl. Find a school that offers what you want to study. Trust me, they've got soccer. That many programs, somebody will have what you're looking for, right? But just treat it like you're getting a job. I'll make sure Michael has this. I want y'all to be off on the good foot.